So last weekend was pretty busy. We spent some time in Sheridan and Douglas, Wyoming. We played at the Luminous Brew House in Sheridan. That was fun. It was the night before their Halloween party. It was great to see our friends in Hate to Feel. They're a band down there. It was always a rockin' time with them. They didn't play, but they did come out and support us, so hell yeah to Hate to Feel. We spent some time in Douglas as well. We played at the Hotel Labonte. That was definitely different for us. I don't think we've ever been treated this good.
2 doors, 2 fridges, enough towels for everybody.
Yeah, and it was a great time. There were people in and out all night. Stopped in Casper and got some Halloween costumes. We're terrible about planning ahead on stuff like that, so we were kind of planning our suits in the store, our costumes in the store.
Yeah, I need bone daddy. Oh
Yeah, that's a good look for you, Trav.
yeah. Oh, I got it backwards.
It's very Wyoming.
It was a great time, a great weekend. We've been really lucky to be able to play all over the place in Wyoming and some places in Colorado and Montana. I just wanted to take a second to kind of talk about what it's like to be in a band in Wyoming. I know that a lot of musicians follow our pages on Instagram and Facebook and all that kind of stuff. Some of those people are younger musicians, and I know what it's like to be a young musician in Wyoming, and it can feel extremely bleak from time to time. So I just wanted to kind of, talk about our experience a little bit and what that's been like. I definitely feel like being from Wyoming has its pros and cons. Being from Wyoming, there's hardly anybody here, so it can be kind of difficult to find people who are into what we're doing. When it comes to shows and stuff like that, that's probably the most complicated piece of the puzzle, is getting people out to shows, getting people to recognize our name and understand that we are not a metal band. Honestly, that's probably been one of the biggest things that we've kind of fought. Being in this band locally, we used to be in metal bands, all of us, and so when we started doing this thing, people wouldn't hire us. They'd say, they'd think that we were a hardcore death metal band, and they wouldn't hire us. So kind of getting the word out of what our music actually sounds like, getting people to give us a chance, getting people to come out and listen to us and see that, hey, these are actual songs. I'm not saying that metal songs aren't actual songs, but this is not that medium. This is not that genre of music. Even though all of us still love metal music, I think all of us still listen to it. I know I do. This type of music, I feel, is just the most authentic for us at this moment. With everything that's happened in all of our lives, when we sit down to write, we don't say, okay, we're going to write a country song, we're going to write a folk song, whatever it is. We just do what comes naturally. We just sit down and do what feels good, and that's how these songs happen. Different combinations of people produce different sounds and different kind of feels. When I'm working with Joe, the music is typically quite different than the stuff I write on my own or the stuff that I write with Travis. Both when I write with Travis or I write with Joe, the instrumentals are typically quite beautiful. Both those guys are really good about that. So that's kind of been probably the con, is just getting people to give us a chance. I mean, for the first year or two of this, it was like a 4-letter word when we tell people that we were a band from Wyoming. Even in Wyoming, especially in places like Jackson and Laramie and stuff like that, where we thought that people would kind of, the talent buyers would embrace Wyoming artists, but no, they just stopped talking to us when they found that out. I feel like the advantage of being from Wyoming is that there are around 500,000 people in the state. There are a lot of extremely talented musicians. Being able to reach other musicians, talk to them, hopefully collaborate with them. We've collaborated with some folks, locally, and that's been great. But just being able to kind of have access to the other artists in Wyoming and the people in Wyoming, and being kind of easy to find ourselves, because of the lack of population here, I feel like that's been a benefit. In a place like Wyoming, there's always going to be less people trying to make music than there would be in somewhere like Denver. I mean, there's probably the same amount of musicians in Denver alone that there is in the entire state of Wyoming. I have no idea if that's true. I have done no checking on those sort of numbers, but just a very awful rough guess there, just to kind of illustrate what I'm trying to say. I feel like that's been the advantage. So it's, you know, I wouldn't change a thing right now. I am a fan of the journey. I really like overcoming obstacles. I really like figuring stuff like this out. Some days it feels like playing the game on hard, but when things happen, when people actually give us a chance, they listen to us, they discover they like our music, or when a new person gives us a chance to play at their venue, it's the rush I get from that is just it makes it all worth it. So it's got its ups and downs, it's got its pros and its cons. If you're a musician in Wyoming, reach out to us, reach out to me. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to work with you, whether that means writing some music, recording a cover, or whatever. That's what we're about. Drones Over Yellowstone is a platform that just, I mean, it encompasses a lot to us. It means a lot to us. I can't sit here and tell you exactly what that means because I feel like it would diminish what it means to me. But I will show you. So that's my commitment. If you're a musician from Wyoming, make sure that you reach out and do it soon. See ya.